Math is a wonderful thing. Math is a really cool thing. So get off your act, let's do some math. Math, 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 math. 3 minus 4 is...
-1.
That's right. And 6 times a billion is...
6 billion?
Nailed it. And 54 is a 45 more than what is the answer, Marta?
9.
No, it's 8.
No, it's 9.
Yes, I was testing you. It's 9. And that's a magic number.
Welcome to the Perfect Movie Podcast, the podcast where we answer the question, is this a perfect movie? I'm Michael.
I'm Kalen.
And today, for Musical March, but OPE No Musicals, we are doing School of Rock, the Richard Linklater room. What?
Richard Linkler.
Fuck. Richard, okay.
Linkler.
So that's not how you say it.
It's Linkler, right?
Linklater.
I'm sorry he has a dumbass name.
Today, we are doing School of Rock from 2003, the Jack Black movie, directed by Richard Linklater. A director you might know from Dazed and Confused, or Bad News Bears, or Boyhood, the movie about being a boy that's really boring.
Isn't that the one where they filmed this for like a few consecutive years? Like
Yes.
actually watch this kid grow up?
Yeah, so it was like filmed over like 8 years or 12 years or something like that, and has Ethan Hawke too as the dad and somebody else, I
It's
forget.
like the real life Truman Show.
I watched that one time in college, and it is so boring. It's the boringest movie ever, but because that child is like the exact age I was at that time, it was like watching my own childhood back to me. But, you know, like the genuine article. Like, people have done, like, throwback 90s stuff and stuff that feels like my childhood. But this is genuinely, like, a child growing up at the same age as me. And it was a trip. But it's so boring, and I don't like it. And it's not a good movie.
You watched that for a film class?
No, I watched it because I was at a friend's place, and we were smoking dabs, and she was...
She's
watching
like,
Boyhood.
Let's put Boyhood on.
She was like, I love this movie. And I was like, I think you love this movie because it looks just like your childhood. Because otherwise, this movie's boring, and it features a child actor that was good when he was little, and then he was a teenager. A little tough.
Speaking of child actors,
we got a movie full of them in School of Rock. This is a movie with Jack Black and Sarah Silverman a little bit, and Joan Cusack. What did you say? Joan? Joan. Isn't it Joan?
I don't know. I don't give a fuck either.
It's Joan Cusack.
It's spelled like Joanne.
And a bunch of children.
A bunch of children.
A whole class full of them, really.
And they're all fine. They're all pretty good.
They're all pretty good kid actors. So, School of Rock is the story of Jack Black.
Did you say School of Rap?
I don't think so.
That's a sequel.
School of Rap. But it's like produced by LeBron James Company.
Well, if it was made back then, it would be like Ice Cube. It's like the school teacher.
I don't know who would star in it, but definitely LeBron James Production Company would have their hands in it.
Starring Mike Epps.
They'd made the new House Party remake.
Oh, yeah, they did. No interest in watching that.
Never going to see that one. Jack Black is Dewey Finn, and he is a rock guy, rock nerd. He's in a band, and he gets kicked out of the band, and he's down bad, and he lives with his best friend, and he's just kind of a bum.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's going to do with his life. He still loves rock and roll, though.
And his
That's his passion.
Yes, his best friend is a substitute teacher
Who looks really like eerily similar to Toby from The Office. And that's who I thought this was the whole time.
No, the actor's name is Mike White. He is also the director. Not the director, he's the writer.
Oh, okay.
He wrote this movie. Mike White lived right across the hall from Jack Black in college.
Okay.
Mike White, meet Jack Black. They probably were like, wait, your last name's White? My last name is Black. And then they like pointed at each other and were like, we got to do a thing together.
Yeah.
And then they were like, let's make School of Rock.
And that's how you make gold.
This movie is peak Jack Black. This is Jack Black at the peak of his powers. This is when Jack Black was the most Jack Blackest.
Well, this was his first leading role, I believe. Because before this, he was in a handful of other movies where he was just kind of the side character. So this was like his first real big break.
I'm just scrolling down to confirm that it is true because Kalen's.
Well, I watched an interview with Jack Black, and he was kind of talking about the whole production of School of Rock, and he was like pretty proud of this movie.
Yeah, which he should be.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Jack Black later relinks up with Richard Linklater. Wordplay. Did you hear those
Yeah,
bars?
that's pretty sick. That should be in School of Rock.
I did some of that on purpose and some of that on accident. That was a pretty good combo. Anyways, they link up later for a movie, Bernie, which is another great movie that maybe we will do someday, but it's another great Jack Black movie. Soon after this, Jack Black moves on. He's in King Kong.
Ugh.
He is in I just lost
Nacho
the page.
Libre.
Yeah, Nacho Libre. Soon after this, Tenacious D and The Pick of Destiny. This is like, yeah, you're right. This is like what really launches him into the peak Jack Black of his career. And it's funny that right after this, he does King Kong. And this is just something I want to talk about a little bit, is comedians and comedic actors' careers.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a reason they always want to be serious. Because you think about this, Jack Black is the biggest thing ever. Jack Black for maybe the next 4 to 5 years. Huge deal.
Yeah.
Jack Black, still, I'm sure he's doing well. He's fine.
He's kind of dropped off the radar a little
But
bit.
he has
I think he's focusing more on his music right now.
He's dropped off the radar in like the past 10 years. And when you really think about it, just about every like comedian or comedic actor, that's usually the arc. There's not a lot of them that stay forever. Like Will Ferrell, he had his peak. Will Ferrell, he still makes the odd comedy here and there, but there was like 5 years where he's like the in-demand person.
Yeah.
I think you could say the same thing about Eddie Murphy.
Adam Sandler. But the thing about Adam Sandler now is he's
his own production company,
Yeah.
so he just makes his own movies with his friends and basically...
And he's also a pretty decent actor when he's got the right material, too. What was the Hidden Gems?
Uncut Gems. Yes.
That's awesome movie. He was great in that.
The one that I think who's had a really long career that kind of broke the mold, I think, is maybe Bill Murray. Bill Murray, ex-SNL guy, but you don't think of him. He is a comedic actor, and he has a comedic air about him often, but he can take on serious roles, and he's got, this like 30-plus year acting career now with a wide variety of roles that he's able to play. And I think that's the career that everybody wants. Like, Jack Black was never going to be Bill Murray, but I think, like, the fact that he goes right after this to do King Kong, that's
pretty early in his career.
Yeah, and that's him immediately wanting to be like, hey, guys, I do real acting, too. Like, you don't got to make me...
the fat, funny guy in every movie.
Gyrate and act crazy in front of a bunch of children to make a great movie.
Well, you know who did that as well? Like Jonah Hill, where he... For a while, he was just always that guy you cast in every single comedy movie. Played the same character, basically, and everything as well. And then he transitioned. He was like in Wolf of Wall Street, and I think that's when he transitioned out from comedy. And now he's like super serious guy, take care of my health kind of thing. It's a totally different guy.
And you're right. Jack Black does have this whole musical angle of his career, which is also like equally as passionate.
And that's something that people don't really realize, that he's kind of an incredible musician as well.
Well, I'd say this movie is like the Jack Black role. This is sometimes movies come along where one person needed to play them for them to work, and this is exactly it.
Right. Yeah, he's a very talented musician. And actually, you put me on to Tenacious D way back in the day.
He's a performer in every sense of the word.
Yes.
Jack Black is a performer.
Just
He is a person that in some ways I envy him, and I often wonder, he reminds me of like Robin Williams, R.I.P. in that way, where I wonder if there's something else. If all we ever see is Jack Black on, and if like Jack Black is a different person, does he genuinely enjoy being this way all the time?
Right.
Because even if you watch him, like he has like a YouTube channel and like his social presence, like I'm sure there's a difference between personal Jack Black and like the public facing persona, but like how much of those overlap? That's always a question I have, especially with personalities like that, or even I think of like Kevin Hart or someone like someone that's real like zippy all the time, and that's
it's always like
that's their brand.
It's always a persona. I mean, it's never, and it's the same with most musicians too. They're never really who they are on stage or on film. It's like when you actually do sit down and talk to some of these people, they're pretty normal, and a lot of them are passionate about other things. And I mean, you can really, with Jack Black, you really see with his music, and you can just check his YouTube stuff out where he's really passionate when he's on the mic. So yeah, this movie was the first movie I actually like realized he was like, wow, he's a really talented individual.
So I think this is a great movie. This is a movie I respected more. I've definitely seen it. I saw it many times as a kid. I respected more coming back and watching it as an adult.
Which is funny because I thought I would be irritated by this movie.
I did too. I thought I would be like, kids movie. Like, whatever. It was cute.
They got some real like adult themes going on in some of this stuff too. Like he calls the girls groupie, or so he's giving out assignments to the kids in the class.
All right. You three, groupies. And your job is simple. Just worship the band. And you're going to be making hats. You're going to be making t-shirts. All kinds of merchandise, which leads me to your first assignment, naming the band. All right, sit down.
Like different roles they can play in, or they can be in the rock band. He's like down to like 3 girls. He's like, all right, groupies.
And I was like, oh no, Jack
Black. These are like 7-year-olds.
You're already being a fraud, pretending to be a teacher in their room. We don't need more. We don't need more parents asking questions about the sexual things happening at school.
Yeah, we could touch a little bit more on like the realism aspect of this movie later on, but yeah, what would you say overall? How you felt about this movie?
I like I said, it's good. It is well made. It is the type of movie they don't really make anymore too, where like we don't get the like kind of good-natured family drama, not even like family drama, like dramedy comedy. We don't get those type of movies anymore. No. I'm thinking of like even like Are We There Yet with Ice Cube. Like that's not a great movie, but we really don't get those. We don't
get that type of
family comedies anymore, except for maybe like Disney Channel specials.
Maybe
or something
that speaks
like that.
on the state of families in America to begin with.
Well, I mean, but this isn't about a family. Like, Are We There Yet is about a family. But I'm just saying, like, we don't have, like, good-hearted kids' comedies that aren't, like, animation, I guess, is what I'm saying. Okay. Those don't really exist. I feel like this movie wouldn't get made today, or they'd be like, but what if we could make it like Euphoria, and it's, like, about these kids in a band that just do drugs and are sad.
And are super depressed the entire time. Yeah, I think also, too, like, the types of media that kids are interested in now is different. I mean, kids don't watch movies. It's just a thing. Kids watch YouTube. They do TikTok. They don't care about actors. They don't care about even like the animated films. The kids don't like to watch animated films. I know the kids that I work with, they'd rather watch videos of somebody running over stuff with their car than they would watching Moana. You know what I mean? So it's just a different time, and you know this movie did kind of hit me in that feels too, where it's like, damn.
This is a nostalgia piece for us for sure.
Yeah, it's just like they don't make them like they used to. You know?
No, I say slapping my knee, kicking the dirt a little. They don't make them like they used to.
No, seriously. I mean, yeah, there's just heart to this movie, and it's something that you can't really be mad about, even though it's very surface level as far as plot and what's going on in the movie. So,
shall we move along to the performance test?
Yep.
The performance test is where we talk about our favorite scenes and actors and moments. Before we get into, I think, Jack Black and like maybe more of the standouts, I don't know, is there any kids you want to call out besides, I think the obvious standout is Miranda Cosgrove, but I think that's mostly just because she's the one that's famous now.
Who is the kid that plays the guitar? He's lead guitar. Let me try to find this real quick.
I believe the kid's name is Zach.
Zach Attack, yeah. Joey Gatos Jr.?
Yeah.
He is incredibly talented.
Oh, all the kids are actually playing the instruments.
Yeah,
too.
which is something we should definitely point out because all these kids are incredibly talented. Joey, who plays Zach, or Zach Attack as Jack Black calls him, he is just incredibly good at playing the guitar. And he's, just a good musician. He's pretty one note as an actor. He doesn't really say much, but when he's playing, all eyes are on him, and he's pretty great.
So all these they're adorable kid actors. The performances don't need to be particularly nuanced because this is a low stakes movie.
Right.
This is a movie about, I think we started and never fully laid it out. Jack Black is needs money. His roommate's going to kick him out. His roommate also happens to be a substitute teacher. One day he picks up the phone. They're calling for a substitute teacher gig. He pretends to be his roommate, and he shows up for this teaching gig to earn himself some money. That is the setting, and then Jack Black eventually recruits these kids.
Because come to find out, they're all really good musicians as well.
Yes. And this is also like this is a hoity-toity, like...
Private school
for the arts, and these are all like it's like a fourth grade classroom or something like that.
Yeah.
And he recruits them to be his band in a battle of the bands because he just got kicked out of the band, and he's kind of a selfish asshole.
Yeah, he's kind of a psychopath.
He's kind of like not a good person if you really like write out everything that he did.
Yeah.
But it all works out.
Does everything in impulse, like
literally everything he does is to benefit himself, and it all works out for him.
Yeah,
basically.
There's no lesson to really be learned in this.
No,
other than to stick it to the man.
So the kid actors, the ones in the band do play musical instruments. I think there are some standout scenes with the kids, but the kids actors themselves, it doesn't ask them to do a lot. No. It's a lot of Jack Black acting crazy, and they get to react.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I want to shout out the one scene. So one of the things I love about this movie is how just like good-hearted and good-natured it is. And the reason you get on Jack Black's side, even though he is making like selfish and maybe selfish, immature, and possibly dangerous decisions with these kids. Maybe not dangerous, but definitely like immoral.
Shit would not fly.
Certainly illegal. He's doing a little kidnapping, a light kidnapping.
Yeah.
Is because he is so dang good-natured and kind to these children.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever they have an issue, like he's not a good teacher in the like I'm teaching you K through 12, our 4 core subjects.
Yeah.
But he is an incredible mentor. And he's always building up these children. I'm thinking of when the girl Tamika wants to sing.
Yeah.
And he was like...
She's feeling really self-conscious.
She's really self-conscious because she's a little bit bigger girl. And she's like, I didn't think I could sing because I'm big. Like, I don't want to be out there in front of him. And he's like, what's wrong with being a little big? I'm a little big.
Yeah.
Because I'm fat?
Tamika... Hey, you've got something everybody wants. You've got talent, girl. You have an incredible singing voice, and I'm not just saying that. You heard of Aretha Franklin, right? Okay, she's a big lady, but when she starts singing, she blows people's minds. Everybody wants to party with Aretha! And, you know who else has a weight issue?
Who?
Me. But once I get up on stage, start doing my thing, people worship me! Because I'm sexy and chubby, man.
Why aren't you on a diet?
Because I like to eat. Is that such a crime?
Just go out there and show it because you got those pipes. And he really just like every time a kid comes to him with an issue, he's just building them up. He's like, bud, have Lawrence, the piano player.
That was a great scene with him. Yeah.
He's like, I don't think I'm cool enough to be in the band. All the kids, don't think I'm cool. Yeah. And he's like, dude, you're the coolest. You're so good at piano. You're the coolest man I've ever seen.
Yeah, when they see you, you're going to be the most popular kid in school, man. Like, I don't know. That aspect of his character resonated with me, and I'm sure it resonated with you, too, because we're both educators, in a sense. We both work in the mental health field with kids. And so this kind of resonated with me, where it's like, man, it makes me want to keep working hard with these kids. It's like, we felt that type of way, and yeah, it's really, really cool because teachers aren't appreciated so much in our society, and to see that on screen, and because I think there's a line that he said when he was talking to the other staff where he was like, those that don't do teach,
yeah,
and then those that he was like those that don't teach gym or something like that.
Yeah. He said those that don't do teach, and those that can't teach PE.
Right, which is obviously not true statement, but it's like it just goes to show in this society how underappreciated teachers are and stuff. So it's cool to see this on film.
Yeah, and as opposed to like a Euphoria, or Euphoria is not really aimed at like the same age of children this movie would be aimed at, but just the it's a cut above like your morning educational show.
Yeah.
But it has the same energy of like, you can do this, you're the best, go kids, go.
Right. Like you can be whoever you want to be, you know what I mean? And no matter what you look like, that kind of stuff. So it's sweet.
I think that brings us to Jack Black, who is, like I said, the man this movie is built for and built off the back of. And he has so many great scenes with the kids where he, like a lot of this movie is just them in a classroom. And it's usually just Jack Black kind of riffing, it seems like. I'm sure a lot of these lines are on the page, but he just brings this energy to him where he's just like, it seems like he's in the room kind of hanging out. There's the great... I forget how it comes up, but somebody's like, he tells some kid like, well, that's just the man trying to get you down. And he's like, who's the man? He's like, oh, you don't know about the man? And the whole rant associated with the man.
What, you want to learn something?
Yes, I do.
What, you want me to teach you something? You want to learn something? All right, here's a useful lesson for you. Give up. Just quit. Because in this life, you can't win. Yeah, you can try. But in the end, you're just going to lose big time because the world is run by the man.
Who?
The man. Oh, you don't know the man? Oh, well, he's everywhere. In the White House, down the hall, Miss Mullins, she's the man. And the man ruined the ozone, and he's burning down the Amazon, and he kidnapped Shamu and put her in a chlorine tank, okay? And there used to be a way to stick it to the man. It was called rock and roll. But guess what? Oh, no. The man ruined that, too, with a little thing called MTV. So don't waste your time trying to make anything cool or pure or awesome, because the man's just going to call you a fat, washed-up loser and crush your soul. So do yourselves a favor and just give up!
Or later on where he's like, and right now, I'm the man. So, just get angry at me. And all the kids just start yelling obscenities at him and stuff. Like,
I
hate you.
And our little gay child that volunteered to do the costumes.
Oh, yeah.
Who he doesn't think twice about it. He's like, yeah, I don't want to be a roadie. I want to do our clothes. And he was like, hell yeah, go do that.
Yeah, do that. Be yourself.
Says, I think you're fat and you're tacky and I hate you. And he's like, all right, we're done with the hating. And he's like, yeah, I hate you. Okay. The scene where Jack Black is building the band and putting everybody in their place, that's a classic scene. They're just all these good long scenes where it's Jack Black having a hell of a good time.
Yeah. Putting a song together, just kind of riffing at first, and then it all comes together. That's great. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Try this out for me, okay? Just give this a try on my count, all right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Yes. Come on, come on, come on, come on, now touch me, babe. Fa-da-fa-da, can't you see that I am not afraid? Shaka-ga-ga. Lawrence is good at piano. He shall be rocking in my shoe. Ra-ga-ga-ga. Stop. That's perfect. You're perfect. Stay right there, okay? You, could you come up here, please? What was your name?
Katie.
Katie, what was that thing you were playing today, the big thing?
Cello.
Okay, this is a bass guitar, and it's the exact same thing, but instead of playing like this, you tip it on the side. Cello, you've got a bass. Try it on. Okay, now play this note right here. That's a G. Okay, but let your fingers do the rock and keep that G coming all day long. G, 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 G. Good, stop. Are there any drummers in the house?
I forget what scene it's in, but Jack Black has this line. It will test your head and your mind and your brain. I think that's when he's telling them about the Battle of the Bands and start trying to recruit them. He's like, I know it doesn't sound educational, but it will test your head and your brain and your mind.
One thing about Jack Black, he has some really great facial expressions. He's almost like Jim Carrey in that way, where he's able to just contort his face. And
he's like a physical actor too. He's
yeah,
rolling around in the first scene, he's rolling around on the ground, and that's why he gets kicked out, because he's making such a scene while he's playing with his bandmates.
Which I don't understand. It's like, that's rock and roll, man, you know?
Nobody understood rock and roll any better than Jack Black did in this movie.
Not. Yeah.
He was the king of rock and roll. There's the man rant leads later to, there's a kid sitting in the hallway and the principal walks past and she's like, Miss Mullins, you're the man. And she's like, oh,
thank you.
Thank you.
Joan Cusack.
Yeah.
She is also great in this.
I know her as the nervous friend in Runaway Bride. Have you ever seen that movie?
I have not.
Well,
but apparently she plays a lot of nervous, twitchy people.
It's my sister Abigail, so it was one of her favorite movies. So we watched that a lot as a kid.
Nice.
Anyways, she always plays the same type of character. She's a lot of fun. She's real nervous and hoity-toity, but deep down, she's a rocker
cool.
too. Yeah.
She's like, she has a whole rant in his van where she's just like, I didn't used to be like this. I used to be fun. But these parents want me to be perfect.
She's always just real stressed out because she works at this hoity-toity school.
Yeah.
And the parents are always on her neck because they pay big money for their kids to go there, so everything must be perfect.
It's very realistic as a character.
Yeah. I just want to shout out Sarah Silverman for just being very hateable and spiteful and
she was
angry.
awful.
Kind of a classic Sarah Silverman character. This is early Sarah Silverman. I don't think we even knew who she was at this point.
No.
And then we also have Mike White as
Ned Schneebly.
What is up with the names? Ned Schneebly and Dewey, whatever the hell his last name is.
Yeah.
Oh, Ned Schneebly, Dewey, whatever the hell his name is. Like, what are these names? They're terrible names. Mike White, you could have wrote better names. There's a great scene where Jack Black improvises a math lesson while playing the guitar. And there's also a great scene where Jack Black, before their the show at the Battle of the Bands, where he takes a moment and gathers everybody around for a prayer to the God of Rock.
I want to point out, what freaking town are they living in where everybody looks like a punkster and just really grody and gothic? It looks like the neighborhood from Bully. You ever play the game Bully?
Yeah.
It looks a lot like that.
It does. In the early 2000s, I feel like this was an aesthetic that a lot of, like, the Freaky Friday remake was made.
Yeah.
It was like punk was pretty good, like big at the time. There's kind of a little bit of an obsession with rock in the movies.
Yeah, it looks like Scott Pilgrim's neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really it's it's a cool aesthetic though. For, I mean, obviously
the school is definitely like the school in Bully.
Yeah. for sure.
Because Bully is a game where a kid gets sent to a private school with a bunch of hoity-toity teachers and classmates.
But just like the whole like feel of everything. It's kind of gothic almost, like just looks really old, like old America, old West Coast, or not West Coast, old Central America, like
like
Midwest.
Nicaragua.
I'm tripping right now. Midwest, man, I cannot talk today.
The Midwest, it's the south of the North.
Just cut everything I say out at this point.
Kalen's drunk. He drank one High Life.
Oh man, this High Life, bro.
You want another one?
I would love one, actually.
All right, shall we move on?
Let's do it.
To It's an Art Bro.
What's this?
It's an art project.
Okay, I like it. Picasso. Yeah, that way.
So we talk about the specifics of the filmmaking process. We're talking sets, effects, lighting, all that jazz. Just kidding, rock. What kind of movie did I think I was watching?
What's this?
What is this, Whiplash?
What's this? It's an art project.
Picasso.
I like that.
Way. I'd want to shout out the intro sequence, which has a bunch of our credits on different posters as we follow people into the bar where Jack Black's band is playing, and some of the credits are on posters, some of them are on the back of people's jackets.
Was that an early 2000s thing too, where it was like creative, like ways to do the credits? Think of Napoleon Dynamite, Nacho Libre kind of thing. Yeah, especially these comedies.
I think so.
They just don't make them like they used to.
You know what I'm really realizing is things were better back then, and they suck now.
They suck now. Everything else that comes out now is woke garbage.
Yes. I agree. Cosign. They should have sent that one kid to a different school and re-educated him. You know what I'm saying?
Which one? The black kid?
No.
I know which one you're talking about.
The one that was a little light in his loafers.
They should send them both.
You know, speaking of him.
The black kid?
No, the gay kid. It's a little, I'm upset how obvious we should wear our school uniforms setup was for him to have the little AC/DC costume. Like, I'm upset that I didn't foresee that being set up, because it's right there. It's hitting you in the face.
Yeah.
But then he had his little AC/DC costume on, and I was like, I know what that is.
I know what that is. Yeah, there's a lot of shouting out of different rock bands in this.
You know, it's going to be tough for me to put clips in here because fucking Def Leppard's going to be on my ass.
Fucking Guns N' Roses is going to shoot you for real.
No, but some of these rock bands are real stingy about their, like...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, if there's any silence on the YouTube version, it's because it got content struck, and I had to just mute a section because it had rock music that was copyrighted. Because I wonder, because there's even scenes where they are playing the songs. I wonder if it'll get caught even when he's, like, free playing it on his guitar. But it's not the actual recording.
It might.
You know what
I
I'm
wouldn't
saying?
even risk it, to be honest.
So risky.
You know the song Lucid Dreams by Juice WRLD? So that song was sampled from the song by Sting. And Sting went in on it. On him. He was trying to sue him and everything. Yeah, these musicians do not play about their shit. And I thought it was a pretty decent, like, a little shout out to him, but you know.
Speaking of copyright, hey, do you know these songs? Listen to all these classic rock songs in this movie, School of Rock. Hey, do you know them? Hey, have you heard this one?
That is. Do you know Ride the Lightning? I don't think they played that, but
there's a lot of classic rock songs. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah,
we have him playing that at points. It's but I do love the Jack Black's his original song. The one that they end up not playing.
But the legend of the man was way past due.
The freestyle.
That's pretty hard, man.
The freestyle song just about how he got kicked out of the band. But no, you can't kick me out of the band.
It's like, just so you guys know, this is just a rough cut, you know.
It's literally just him venting about his roommate kicking him out and him getting kicked out of the band.
It was pretty tough, though. That shit was hard.
It starts off a dark stage and then a beam of light, and you can see me and my guitar. Down, 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 In the end of time, there was a man who knew the road, and the writing was written on the stone. And then a thin layer of fog comes in around my ankles. Roadies, that means dry ice. We're going to talk about this later. In the ancient time, an artist led the way, but no one seemed to understand. Chimes, Freddie. In his heart he knew the artist must be true, but the legend of the rent was way past due. And then, Katie, you come in with the bass. Well, you think you'll be just fine without me, but you're mine! You think you can kick me out of the band, and then, Zach, you come in with a face melter. Okay? Well, it's just one problem there. The band is mine! How can you kick me out of what is mine? And then, Hawaii Five-0, you ever see that show? Okay, well, there's a drum solo in it. They go, you're not hardcore unless you live hardcore. And then that's where I want the backup singers to be like, well, you're not hardcore. No, you're not hardcore unless you live hardcore. Unless you live hardcore. But the legend of the rent was way hardcore. Boom! Big old explosion. Some like confetti comes down. Anyway, that's all I got so far. It's a work in progress.
I liked it, Mr. Schneebly. I thought it was really catchy.
Thank you.
You know, I'm really into like heavy metal. I don't know if I've ever told you this. But
Whoa.
that's like one of my guilty pleasures.
He's wearing a Metallica hoodie right now,
I am,
guys.
actually. Yeah. I don't know if that makes me edgy or not. But
It makes you pretty edgy.
Thanks.
You need to start smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
Ripping heaters.
Ripping heaters. I just need to look really dirty.
Smoking darts. It's really about the smell. You don't even have to smoke them. You just have to smell
You have
like
to
cigarettes.
smell like it. Yeah.
So you should just light cigarettes and just like wave them
Like
around
incense.
you.
Like
Yeah.
just waving it around me. I'm a real rocker now.
Imagine getting from smoking cigarettes, but from just having them in your vicinity because you like the aroma.
Nah, that's crazy. You know, I was actually watching a documentary about we're gonna get off the topic a little bit.
Remember you used to be able to smoke in Perkins?
Oh yeah, actually. No, but I mean you used to be able to smoke in like relatively recently at Mystic Lake or like at the casinos.
Like it's a smoking section. Don't worry, the glass wall is right there.
We have all these terminally ill old people coming to eat at Perkins, but yeah, let's smoke in here real quick.
Just waitresses just dropping by the dozen to lung cancer. So you can fucking smoke a cig while you drink your coffee black. They called them the greatest generation. I'm starting to think that's so smart.
No, not so much. They had to learn though. You know, I mean, that's human evolution.
They smoked
for
inside, so we don't have to.
They smoked so our lungs can be nice and clean. But anyways, I was.
Do you think COVID came for them because? Sorry, what were you saying?
No, finish what you were saying. I want to hear that. You think COVID came got them for what?
You know, maybe some sort of cosmic karma.
Maybe.
Okay.
I'm sure it had to do with racism too. So.
As you were. You know, that was another big wrong. I wasn't trying to oversee that. Like this, I'm not ranking smoking cigs inside or racism.
I don't think they like gays either. So there's a whole whole melting pot of things that they have.
They're paying for. Okay.
All right. Anyways, I was watching a doc speaking about rockers and how fucking crazy rocks, like people who like rock and listen to rock and play rock. The 1999 fuck me.
Do you know when you spin the record backwards, it praises the devil?
The devil is talking to you?
I'm sorry. I'm just never going to let you say whatever you're trying to say.
The 99 Woodstock was fucking nuts. And you need to watch some stuff about that because they had it at an airfield. And of course, hundreds of thousands of people came. They had it at an airfield in the middle of the summer, July, and it was scorching heat. And tons of teenagers, horny fucking teenagers. And the toilets broke like almost immediately. So all this sewage was leaking out all into the pavement, and kids were just rolling in feces thinking it was mud. They also didn't have any water. Like, they ran out of water.
This
and
mud smells like shit. Let's
keep rolling in it. And they had I'm sure all these...
Look, mud, roll in it. Had to be some white people.
For sure. But then, so what else happened? So there are a lot of sexual assaults happen mid-concerts. People getting raped during the concert. That's fucking crazy. They also set the whole thing on fire. They set all these like kiosks on fire. They set the stage on fire. There's a giant riot and shit. Yeah, these fucking rockers, man.
Wasn't Woodstock 99 the one that had the Hells Angels at the front? Or was that an older... Was that actual Woodstock?
Hells Angels? Did Hells Angels go all the way back then?
Hells Angels did security for some show.
It might have been 99. That sounds like something that would happen during then.
And they ended up fucking a bunch of people up.
Yeah, and so, of course, like, the media spins it and they push it all on the actual bands. Are like, you guys are inciting this kind of stuff. And I'm like, a little bit. When you're playing a song called Fire during the middle of a riot, then, yeah, maybe you're inciting a little violence. But, you know, can't get mad at them. It's just their art. It's people who do the crazy shit.
This movie would have ended very differently if it incited a riot at the end.
If the kids were just rolling in feces the entire time.
If they were... Director's cut.
School of Rock 99. School of Rock goes to play at Woodstock. That would be fucking nuts.
Kids, we have a great Battle of the Bands opportunity. It's at Woodstock 99.
Wear your galoshes.
It's like that version is to School of Rock what Winnie the Pooh is to the Winnie the Pooh horror movie that came out.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Twisted shitty version. It's like some Jack Black lookalike with a weird face and a weird haircut, just being like, "Come on, kids, we're gonna rock.
We're gonna rock, kids." They're all just worshiping Satan and
some real like Freddy Krueger energy.
So yeah, let's move on to Let the Hate Flow.
Good. Use your aggressive feelings, boy. Let the hate flow through you.
Did we even talk about It's an Art? We already kind of talked about a little bit of like where it was shot and stuff.
It. Let the hate flow through you.
Fuck it.
Okay, so I just want to say there's maybe like a little bit of child kidnapping that happens at the end.
Yeah, some very unrealistic stuff happens.
Which I think is fine in a movie like this. Well, so when we find out that Jack Black is not the real Ned Schneebly, there's a police officer there to arrest him, I guess. I'm pretty sure you don't get arrested and taken home for teaching without a license, not unless you did something.
Well, I mean, it was technically kidnapping because he took them. No, this was before that.
This was before that.
Yeah. I don't see why they would have. It seems like something you would call the school board about. You know what I mean?
But
I
then
don't know how it works, but
the police officer comes in. He's like, "This man's a fake teacher." And then all the parents are, because this is at parent-teacher night, all the parents are in there, and they're like, "What? He's a fake teacher?" And then cut to Jack Black running down the hall. Where'd police officer go?
Yeah, the police officer just gave up. He was like,
"Why was he there?" And then he didn't do his job at all.
My work is done.
My question, the reason why this is in my notes for Let the Hate Flow Through You is the police officer didn't need to exist.
No.
Because he didn't do anything.
It should have just been the principal.
The principal could have walked in and said, I mean, good for that guy. He got a paying gig. He got a speaking part in a Hollywood released movie.
What cracks me up is he did all of this and basically kidnapped these kids at the end, and then he just gets off and everybody's cool with him. And then the cuts to the parents dropping them off at his home rock school.
That leads to our conversation about white privilege and what white males can get away with.
If this was a black man who did this, they would have thrown him under the jail.
And they were teaching them to rap?
How dare! Yeah, it would not have gone over well.
He's rhyming at home all the time.
Only thing I want him to rhyme is Dr. Seuss.
He's listening to NWA.
What does that even stand for? Go ahead, Michael. Say it.
No.
Do it. Do it. If Kodo was here, he would say it.
We have to ask Kodo when he gets back. And also, if we really think about it, this is just the story of a bunch of rich kids winning. And do we need more of that in society?
Hell no.
All these kids are in private school. They're already at, like, the upper crust of society. Fucking talk about being born on third base.
And that's why I appreciate Sister Act, because she took a bunch of inner city children and taught them the ways of music.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, fuck them rich kids. They don't need nothing.
Right.
If they really want guitar lessons, you know, go get some guitar lessons. You know what I'm saying?
It's like, oh no, what's his name? He said, I'm not going to fight capitalism with black capitalism. I'm going to fight capitalism with socialism.
Is that Fred Hampton?
That was Fred Hampton. I knew his name was Fred, but I couldn't remember his last name. Actually, I was going to call him Frank.
He would have been an Italian guy.
Frank Hampton.
Hey, come on, capitalism. Yeah. Come on.
Let's share our money.
You can't arrest me. I'm walking here.
What are we doing? Okay.
Is this a perfect movie, Michael? That's the question.
You lost a baby brother. Perfect in every way. I had a baby brother. I had a little baby brother. And he was perfect. Perfect in every way.
That is the question. And I'm curious what you think, because I have a pretty strong answer.
I would say yes. I really have no issues with this movie, and I've enjoyed this the multiple times that I've watched this.
I agree. I think
it's a lot of fun.
There's many ways to make a perfect movie, I think, and make a movie that makes the list, but I think if you go and execute what you plan to do, and you did it to a very high level,
yeah,
I think that lands here. I think, like I said earlier, that this is a movie that only Jack Black could have made. And, like, it was like a perfect confection of ingredients. Richard Linklater works well with Jack Black, and he's figured out a way to sort of, like, what has become his shtick and is annoying maybe sometimes these days, or at least is a little more tired. You can still go back and watch this and realize all the charm that you might have forgotten about Jack Black when you roll your eyes if you see a Jack Black thing now. I sometimes feel that way about Jack Black, and I still really like this movie.
Well, I mean, I really can't remember anything besides this and, like, Nacho Libre that he's done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, like, a lot of that stuff just melted away. I mean, he was really huge for a while, but not a lot of it was high quality.
Yeah. Oh, he was in one with the who's the actress that Gwyneth Paltrow? He was in a movie with Gwyneth Paltrow where she was in a fat suit the entire movie, and something about how he could only see her as being skinny, or like, what was that called? It was a terrible, terrible movie. It was basically like Jack Black was trying to find love, and he didn't want to date a fat girl, and so he kept seeing her as a skinny chick, basically. It was really, I don't know, it's weird, but that movie was terrible. Jack Black should never be like your eligible bachelor type.
No.
You know?
The ladies are not desiring after Jack Black. But yeah, perfect movie. Is it inducted on the list?
I would put it on there.
Let me write it down before we forget.
This is right under Judas and the Black Messiah, School of Rock.
Yeah.
Very controversial list we got.
So the list. This is in chronological order as far as when we inducted them. Star Wars, Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, Django Unchained, Napoleon Dynamite, The Lord of the Rings Trilogy, Scream, Alien, Halloween, Do the Right Thing, Judas and the Black Messiah, School of Rock. That's 10 perfect movies.
That's a solid list.
Yeah.
We should have a fucking party, because this is like our 21st episode.
Popping bottles.
Yeah. Pop in that Miller High Life.
We need to celebrate it. Our 10th. That's a round number.
Yeah.
That's our 10th perfect movie.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Hooray!
I'm gonna put the sound effect when you shoot a grunt in the head. When you have that one thing, you know what I'm talking about?
In Halo? Oh yeah.
Hooray!
Yeah. Little poof of confetti. Yeah.
Ta-da. So next week will be Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And we'll have Sister Act 2 to round out our March.
And
then we move on to Animation April.
I'm really excited for that.
Kalen's really the anime and animation head here.
Yes.
He's the artiste of the group also. So I think you maybe have some special... Maybe that's part of why.
I'm kind of excited to just show you some stuff. Because you're not as big in the animation as I am.
Nope. I'm not.
But you appreciate the art form, though.
I do. I just don't. I don't know. We had a rough list, but I think we might be moving around maybe.
Yeah.
So
we'll
stay tuned. Next time. Sorry. Until next time. We're doing great,
again, buddy.
You know, we don't have a salutation yet, so I just have been just kind of letting it.
We can never figure one out.
I'm just kind of letting it die.
Okay.
So let's just sit in an awkward silence.
All right. How about this one for a outro? Just say, "Don't be a bitch."
I don't like that. What if we get sponsors? Our signature can't be "Don't be a bitch."
But people need to learn that, though. But I understand. Bye.